Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're getting started here. We just wanted to give a few moments to let everybody join our Ask Me Anything today and get situated. So I think we're ready to get started here. My name is Beth Kuchar, and I'm the president of Innovate Pasadena. Innovate Pasadena is, as you're probably familiar with us already, a 501c3 nonprofit group, obviously based here in Pasadena. And our goal is economic development in Greater Pasadena by promoting collaboration and innovation between all of our great resources that we have here in the city of Pasadena. And today we are actually joined by our special guest, Claire Ralph, who is a board member of Innovate Pasadena. And she's also the director of the Career Development Center and a lecturer at Caltech. So I want to thank Claire for joining us today to answer your questions about internships and hiring Caltech students for careers. So Claire, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Beth. Hi, everyone, welcome. I'm excited to be here. Caltech is a somewhat small science and engineering institute in Pasadena. We have about 900 undergrads, 1,200 graduate students, and 700 or 800 postdocs at any given time, all majoring in some sort of STEM field. We also manage JPL, and there's another like 600 or 700 postdocs there that also make use of our Career Center. So my role there is to I run the Career Center, which our job is to both help our own students prepare for the recruiting process, figure out what they want to do with their lives, everything from like resume review to how do you get into graduate school, how do you make those decisions, how do you decide if you want to stay on the academic track or the industry track, and that makes up quite a bit of our work. But then the other side is employer relations and reaching out to companies, startups, nonprofits in the area that might be interested in hiring our students and helping connect you guys to facilitate that process. So I'm hoping here today that we have some people from great local companies and organizations who might be interested in finding out about how do you connect with these students, how do you hire them, how do you run an internship program if you don't have one already, and just trying to sort of demystify that whole process. So there were some questions that came in ahead of time. So I'll go through those questions first, and then we can switch to sort of anyone can put questions in the chat. So the first one question I often get is like, what types of roles are Caltech students looking for? Historically, a lot of our students were very academic focused, but that's changed. These days, about 2/3 of our undergraduates go on to industry positions, and larger numbers of our graduate students and postdocs are as well. So we do have a lot of students who are interested in software engineering roles, biotech, robotics, chemical engineering, all sorts of various science and technology roles. We also have then a smaller number, but still a healthy number of students who decide maybe I don't want to be hands-on scientist or engineer, but I'd like to do something more adjacent. So interested in science communication roles or something in policy or working in a nonprofit or ed tech or something like that. So, makes sense. I do. To help facilitate our students getting to know about employers and you guys getting to know our students, we have a couple different we have a bunch of different ways to do this. So when we have two big career fairs every year. There's one in the fall and one in the spring. And so we always hope employers will come to those. You have a booth. We get about 700 to 1,000 students showing up. This year, now that we're virtual, we've teamed up with Harvey Mudd for our fall career fairs. So there'll be one October 1st that focuses on software engineering and data science, and then another on October 8th for all the other STEM roles. And so you'll have all of our Caltech community, but then also the Harvey Mudd and Claremont students. And then in addition to that, we love to have companies do info sessions. You can host a dinner with students if you want. And so we have a program to sponsor engineers and alums who want to connect with students. We'll arrange everything for you, but you basically volunteer to buy like 6 or 7 students Grubhub dinners now that we're in virtual world, and have a little Zoom dinner with them. But yeah, so I think the next question maybe. Next question, what does the recruitment timeline look like? I think this is something that is important to know if you're a company newly thinking about university recruiting. It's much earlier than a lot of people realize. So a lot of the big tech companies and things start recruiting in August, September for the next summer start. And so I get a lot of sometimes smaller or local companies coming in, say, April, May, saying, oh, we really want to hire students. They're graduating soon, probably looking for jobs. At that point, most of our students have already committed somewhere. So it's something you really have to plan early for. But starting to get involved with then in the fall term, getting your name out there and making sure that you really have roles ready to offer students before the winter holidays. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then I got a question about how to sign up for internships. So my office doesn't help get, I'm assuming that question was someone who is interested in maybe doing an internship at Caltech. And so that's a different office, but we do have really amazing summer research programs for students. If you're an undergrad at another school and you want to do research at Caltech, there's the SURF program and the WAVE program, where you get matched up with a professor and can do research in their labs. And then we also got a question, what are your biggest pain points with delivering remote lectures? So I think this one was probably actually better answered by someone other than me, but the software we use in our career center is called Handshake. And so if you are interested in recruiting students and posting jobs for them, then we'll ask you to make a Handshake account and get you all set up there. So there's a nice platform for you. Okay. I think that's the end of the official questions. So I don't know if people want to, we can do this a little bit more like a chat or a community. I don't know if
I think we have a small group of people on here. So if you want to unmute yourself, if you're okay and you don't want to keep this anonymous, you're okay sharing your voice or your name with us, just feel free to ask Claire a question directly via voice, or you can type it in the chat window, and we'll just give people a moment to gather their thoughts.
Claire, while people are thinking about it, I've got a question for you too. Are students eligible to get credits for school, or are there expectations from students about providing kind of a wage or a stipend while they're interns?
Okay, yep, that's a good question. So we don't have what is traditionally called a co-op program where students get credit for working somewhere, but just the course load is so difficult during the school year. We kind of discourage our students from trying to take jobs during the academic year. So they're mostly looking for the summer, and we do encourage them to only accept paid internships. The standard stipend, it varies widely, but for the summer, for like maybe a small startup or a nonprofit, $6K is about what allows the students to have enough to live on for the summer. And then the big tech companies pay all the way up to like 20K for the summer. But if you're a middle or small size company, you don't need to compete with those big companies' price it, what they pay. You can, the students understand that they get different experiences at different, at a smaller or medium-sized company.
And I know we have a couple of questions coming in on the chat here, but I like that question. I was curious myself, is there competition among companies? Like, you know, do students really look for the quality experience, and do local Pasadena companies have an edge?
Yeah, I think a lot of students actually are really interested in staying around here. So, and are also interested in working in a smaller or medium-sized company. And what they're really looking for is like someone who's going to provide good technical mentorship and experience where they're going to get to learn. Yeah, and then someone asked if there's any programs for high school students. So the Caltech does have a lot of programs for high school students. Those are handled through our Center for Teaching, Learning, and Outreach. And I think they're on the website. They've done, I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but I know they have quite a few cool things virtually that they've set up. So I can put that's the center for. And then also for students interested in summer, let's say undergrad. Those programs here. Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like you've got another question here from Andy. Is registration for the October 1st career fair still open? They checked the website, but might have missed the info.
Yes. If you want to email, I think if you email the office, Marie will help you out. So let me put that email address there, just making sure. So it's through Handshake, but if you don't have a Handshake account yet, Marie will help you make that. But yep, there's definitely still space for the October 1st and 8th fairs.
And I'm curious, Claire, for everybody else here, would someone who represents a company, a tech company especially, that's interested in working with Caltech students as interns in the future, do they email career@caltech.edu also?
Yeah, if you're interested, that's just a great place to start right now. Where if you're interested in like starting an internship program or starting to recruit there, you can start by emailing them, and then they'll help you get a Handshake account, which is also will be helpful for you because a lot of schools use the same platforms, so it'll give you access to a bunch of them.
So we still have time for a few more questions if anyone has specific questions about either hiring Caltech students, Caltech graduates, or bringing on interns, or working on developing your own company's internship program. Claire is the person to ask.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone here would be willing to share who they are and their role too, I think that could help. I don't know if anyone is willing to introduce themselves.
People might be looking to keep it anonymous here.
I can intro if you want. Yeah, my name is Michael Guasamaku. I'm the CEO and co-founder of MediaZilla. So we're a tech company based in, we're a distributed team, but we're loosely based around LA. So I went to UCLA, so I'm very familiar with Pasadena, Caltech. Had some friends that have gone there. I guess one question I had is, what does Caltech do as far as follow-up for student success in their roles? So what I mean by this is, a lot of times the computer science programs at universities, even in UCLA, a lot of times they're disconnected from the real world. Like the content they teach oftentimes is very antiquated and kind of out of touch with what's actually being used in industry. So when students often get into roles, there's a huge disconnect, right? Because they know some of the fundamentals of algorithms and Java, but like a lot of these things they have to really learn on the job. So does Caltech follow up with students or companies to find out, like, should they be modifying their curriculum to be more in line with industry, or is it kind of like, obviously the students are very intelligent, they're going to learn, but yeah, how do you guys handle that? Sometimes that disconnect, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, the departments all have various chairs councils, which are usually people in industry that meet and help provide that sort of feedback. And then also just really keeping in touch with our alums. With my office, I spend a lot of time talking to our alums and finding out like what their experiences are and what they wish they had learned, or had, what resources had been available to them, and then modifying our offerings for that. And in terms of the actual course curriculum, I do know that a lot of so I'm in the CMS department, I know that a lot of the faculty are really concerned about making sure they're teaching relevant things. So the way they do that is keeping in touch with our alums, seeing what they're doing. We also do get feedback from recruiters if, like I had one recently tell me like, oh, all your students are failing their SQL tests. And it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. We don't have anyone who teaches anything like that at our school, but it's good info for me, because then I can tell the students like, hey, make sure you study up on this, even though we don't have it in a class right now. So.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I don't know. So maybe there aren't any others, but
Oh, it looks like we have a private question that came in. Are there any expectations or requirements from Caltech to participate in any of the internship programs? So do students have to meet certain internship requirements?
No, so we don't have anything like that, but I would say almost the type of student that comes to Caltech is usually pretty high achieving, or they can, they're, if anything, we usually have to tell them like, hey, you guys make sure you're taking breaks and rest. So they're all very concerned about doing something over the summer and making the best use of their time and optimizing everything. So they all pretty much, it's relatively rare for a student to not do something in the summer.
So your Caltech students like to wear extra flair, in other words.
Yeah.
So also, we have one more that came in privately. What are there any particular industries that are more popular with the students than others, or more relevant to them? And consequently, do you have any tips on attracting students for either careers or internships?
Yeah, sure. So for our undergrads, we're at about 40% are majoring in computer science or data science. So any type of software engineering or analytics roles are really attractive. I mean, machine learning is popular everywhere, Caltech included. But we also have strong programs in the life sciences, aerospace, mechanical engineering and electrical engineering are the second and third largest majors. And so there are a lot of students looking for hardware, robotics, roles like that. And then over in the life science and chemistry, biology, it's smaller at the undergrad level. Most of the students do go into grad school, but we have tons of graduate students and postdocs who are looking for industry roles. So biotech, pharma, and they're also getting more and more interested in consulting and finance roles. So just spreading out.
And is there something that companies could do to either see who's graduating and reach out ahead of time, or be more competitive in attracting talent?
I think a lot of it is about kind of getting in there early. And so really, coming to the fall fairs, doing the fall info sessions, hosting a group of students for dinner, and getting your name out there. I do sometimes have companies, they struggle their first year, but once they get their first intern and that intern has a good experience, or their first hire and that student has a good experience, they word of mouth works really well because it's a small community. So you shouldn't, you might have to be in it for a while to start building that pipeline, but it's definitely not impossible. I know a lot of local companies can sometimes worry that it's going to be difficult, but I would say I have more students asking me for connections to companies in the area than I have companies coming to recruit.
So if companies just find a way to approach you, they might already have an edge, because I think it seems like it's a not hidden program necessarily, but people don't know that that you can hire Caltech graduate students and interns for the summer.
Yeah, it's just all about getting in there early and being ready. I mean, that's the biggest problem the companies sometimes have that don't have these well-established pipelines, is making sure you're actually ready to interview and offer a student a job 6 months ahead of time.
What if everyone just says like what company they're like from, or what company they're recruiting on behalf of? So I guess that way we can that like we know we can build like an initial network. Hi Claire.
Hey, Amelia, how are you?
I am good. I figured that if this was a place where companies were learning how to recruit techers, I'd just lurk. I mean, not lurk, but
Yeah, I see what they're doing. Yeah, it's I mean, the other thing we do also, we serve our recent alums. So if you're interested,
hi.
Amelia is one.
So I think that's a great point. If anyone is here representing a company that is maybe interested in recruiting from Caltech, now's your time to actually get your company name in front of the right people. If you want to just say your company name and maybe what industry you're in.
I'll just reach out and say, my name is Mike Kalaki. I'm a parent and work closely with San Marino Unified School District. And I was attending today because I was trying to see if there were either any opportunities, as Dr. Wilson had asked earlier, any opportunities for high school students through this program, which you directed us to another program, but also any opportunities that Caltech students may have in working with our district. Both, I know it's somewhat unconventional for a lot of the students, but maybe working with our high school students as well. So building further partnerships. So that's why I was attending today.
Yeah, so the CTLO that I sent the name of, they do both bringing high school students to Caltech, as well as working with school districts to have our students go into them. So and in the CMS, we have a bunch of students who go to some of the local middle and high school students, local middle and elementary schools to teach programming, and they partner with classes there. And there's all sorts of programs like that.
Thank you so much, you guys.
And it looks like we have someone who posted that they represent a company called MediaZilla.
Okay.
And we have someone else who is a data scientist at Nuna, and you're smiling, so you go ahead and field this one.
Yeah, no, yeah, so Andy, great to see you here. Nuna is actually one of my favorite companies. Maybe I shouldn't have favorite companies, but I think what you guys are doing is very cool. So it's great that you guys are interested in hiring more and you're expanding. They work in health tech. But yeah, I'll make sure Annie follow up with you too. And anyone else here who wants to come to one of the career fairs or do an info session or something, you shoot me your email. I can make sure to follow up with you.
Hello, I'm Joseph Chen. I'm currently serving as a school board of San Marino Unified School District. And also I'm the associate board for Caltech. So the interest I come to this Zoom meeting, yeah, just like my superintendent, Dr. Wilson, asking whether Caltech provide the internship or any program for high school students. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are these programs for high schoolers, and it's through the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Outreach. So yeah,
yeah, we are very lucky, you know, the 3 years ago. So we between the San Marino Unified School District and Caltech. So we have a joint effort to establish the honor class. Yeah. So each year there's about 20 students. They come to Caltech campus every other weeks. Yeah. So we appreciate, you know, Caltech professor give the school district support. Yeah. Thank you.
oh, great. I'm glad that exists. Yeah. Right. I think that might be it, and we're at about time, but I hope you guys will spread the word that we have tons of really great students and postdocs who are looking for internships, and it's just all about starting a bit earlier than you might think you have to, but now is the time to start reaching out about it. So I hope you all will.
And one last time, Claire, for everybody who joined us today to sit in, what's the best way to reach out and get started?
Okay, yeah. So the best thing to do would be to email my office, career@caltech.edu, and we'll get you set up.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing more about Caltech Internship and hiring opportunities with our community. This video will be posted on our YouTube channel, Innovate Pasadena, if you want to rewatch it or share it with anyone. And thank you, Claire, for joining us.
Okay, cool. Thanks.